Beautiful girls all over the world I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you.
So in this documentary, we will go over forms of mind disorders, health disorders, from stuff like bipolar depression and mental. So in this documentary, we will go over forms of mind disorders, health disorders, and stuff like bipolar depression and many more.
The first thing I would like to go over is anxiety. Anxiety is one of the most common disorders I certainly suffer from. That's because I have absolutely no clue why, it just happens. Anxiety is intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired may occur. Anxiety can be treated by some meds, specifically SSRIs, and antidepressants, sedative, and nerve pain medication. But doctors recommend therapy for this because it can lead to a lot of symptoms, like what I'm about to say. Symptoms from common anxiety include feeling nervous, restlessness, or tense, having a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry, having an increased heart rate, etc. Another disorder is depression. This is something a lot of people have. There are so many symptoms that we're going to make this as simple as possible with only 5 common symptoms. Common symptoms include suicidal thoughts, excessive crying, loss of interest, mood swings, and the most common of them, sadness. Treatment is recommended, but you can also take meds such as SSRIs, antidepressants, and you can also get electroshock therapy, which is, I think, the second best option.
Okay, another disorder is addiction. This is something a lot of teens can relate to. Some of the symptoms are depression, anxiety, isolation, loneliness, mood swings, etc. Addiction is characterized by the excessive or poorly controlled preoccupations, urges, or behavior regarding actions that lead to impairment or distress. This is more of an addiction than a disorder, but the symptoms can lead to disorders.
One disorder I also want to go over is autism. The reason why I want to go over this is because I do have autism. Even though I may not show that I have autism, once you read my stuff from this class in 7th and 8th grade, it shows. And my English speaking isn't the best either. It's like I'm talking a different language sometimes. The common symptoms include intense interest in a limited number of things, problems paying attention, unaware of others, emotions, or depression, issues with communication, including difficulties sharing emotions, sharing interests, or maintaining back and forth conversation, difficulties developing and maintaining relationships as well. Did you know that there are 1 in 68 children with autism, and boys are 5 times as likely to get as girls? There's also 3 levels of autism. 1, which requires little support, me. 2, which requires some assistance. And 3, which requires the most support. There are a whole bunch of systems when it comes to autism. You can treat autism by meds, specifically antipsychotic, or you can go get therapy for it.
The last disorder we're going to be talking about in this video is bipolar, which affects about 2.8% of the US population being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Nearly 83% are classified as severe. Bipolar has 4 main types, which are bipolar 1, and to be diagnosed, a person must have a manic episode that must last for a whole week or be so severe that it causes hospitalization. Then you have bipolar 2, is when a person must have a shift from the depression to hypomanic, but never a fully manic episode. Then you have cyclomathic disorder or cyclothymia. It's an unstable mood which people experience hypomania and mild depression for at least 2 years. And the last type is bipolar disorder, other and unspecified, which is when the person does not meet the criteria for bipolar 1 or bipolar 2.
Did you know anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the US, affecting 40 million adults in the United States, ages 18 and older, or 18.1% of the population every year? Did you know that anxiety disorders are highly treatable? Yet only 36.9% of those suffering receive treatment. Did you know that people with anxiety are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders than those who do not suffer from anxiety disorders? Did you know in 2017, an estimated 264 million people have been diagnosed with depression? People in the world experiencing depression. You know, women are twice as likely as men to be diagnosed with depression.